Nothing beats the crunch of homemade chin chin. Today, my girls and I will be showing you how to make this Nigerian classic snack from scratch. For this recipe, measure 9 cups of all-purpose flour and sift. After that, add 1 cup of granulated sugar and 1 cup of milk. Make sure you clean your surface area because everywhere will be filled with flour. Add 1 teaspoon of salt, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 spoon of nutmeg. After adding all the dry ingredients mixed together, you want all the ingredients to be well combined, especially the nutmeg, because if you do not mix it very well, the nutmeg will still just settle on one corner and the chin chin might just be too overwhelming to taste. So after mixing, add about 200 grams of butter. Take your time to fully coat the butter into the flour mixture. In a plate, break 4 eggs and add a cupful of vanilla flavor. Whisk and pour into the dry ingredients. Just make it well at the middle and pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients and mix thoroughly. So don't apply too much pressure because you're not making bread, you're making chin chin and batter has to be less stretchy. So at this point, add some room temperature water until you get a very fluffy dough. At this point, I had to take over from my girl because it was getting stretchy and we needed to make a dough for chin chin. So I took over, and by adding flour to the batter, we were able to achieve a very perfect dough for chin chin. Once your dough is firm and it's not sticking together, transfer to a surface area. Make sure it is clean and dry, then sprinkle some flour on it. Before adding the dough, you do not want the dough to stick on the surface, so you're going to be working with lots of flour. Once the dough stops sticking in your hands, you know you've achieved the perfect dough for chin chin. So spread on the surface and divide into 2 if it's too big. Use a rolling pin to flatten out the dough so you can cut it equally. At this point, using a rolling pin is super important because it helps your dough to be flat and you cut into the dough seamlessly. It doesn't really stress you out. So use a rolling pin to flatten, then cut off the edges because the edges are always way higher than the entire surface. So after cutting out the surface, use a cutter to cut the dough according to your perfect sizes. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, you can make it long or shorter, however you want it. I cut mine in cube sizes. I don't like cutting my chin chin very tiny because you get to eat more than required, especially when you are on a diet. So if I cut it this big, I just take like 2 or 3. Sometimes after frying, I will not eat it again until it's finished. So I just like cutting it big. Anybody that wants to take any of my chin chin to eat, you can just take like 4 or 5, take a drink or water and you are fine. So you see those tiny ones, you can just take like 20, you'll still be craving for more. So that's why I like cutting my this size, but you can cut your own however you like. The weather was not friendly at all. As we're cutting, it was sticking to the surface. So we're just using flour to separate. Do not worry if it's really sticking together or you cannot. It can't really be perfect when you want to try and separate it. So just be calm. Once it touches the vegetable oil, it's going to separate itself. So put your cut chin chin in the hot oil. To ensure that your vegetable oil is ready, just fry a single piece. Once you finish frying that one, remove before you start frying in batches. As you can see, it has separated itself in the vegetable oil. So I allowed my girls to take over and they did pretty good since this was their first time making chin chin with me. I was really impressed. So if you have any girl child in your home, it's never too late to teach them how to make pastries. By the time they want to do it now in their food and nutrition class, they already know how to make it. So it's going to be super easy for them to even carry on with the lecture and also show their friends what they ought to do. So I was really impressed the way they cut the chin chin, the way they rolled the dough, almost perfect. So now we have to be doing some pastries, chin chin meat pie, cakes over the weekend. Like every Saturday after breakfast, we just begin, and I know they really enjoy it, and they will also learn how to bake pastries. It's not really easy teaching your younger ones how to make pastries or how to cook, especially when you're filming, because there are some things you won't have to say and there's some things you won't have to do. So it's not really an easy task, but we are getting by, and very soon will be super perfect. So after showing them how to cut and they did theirs, I just finished up. It was getting super hot. The kitchen was already hot and my camera was overheating, so just doing fast. At a point, the light went off. We had to run on generator, which also tripped off, and we didn't know the generator was still running while there was no light in the house. So we just had to make do with an external light before they now brought the light, and we continued. And when I was to change over to electricity, I noticed the gen was running all the while, and we were just managing with the little light that we had. But it was fun at the end. We really enjoyed ourselves. And after frying your chin chin, just put it in a cool area and in a wide plate like a tray, just line with a serviette or a kitchen towel to help absorb the excess oil that will be dripping from the spoon. How pretty this chin chin looks. You can make yours lighter, but I like mine to have a deeper golden color. This is the fruit of our labor. We've cleaned the kitchen and everywhere is sparkling, and we are so excited. Our chin chin is ready. Store yours in Ziploc bags or an airtight container. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. Until I see you in my next one, remain blessed. Bye.